Small Soldiers is a 1998 movie directed by Joe Dante, who you may know as the director of Gremlins. In Small Soldiers, a toy line is haphazardly created by a military company, and the toys are given high-grade microprocessors that essentially give them intelligent AI and turn them into robots based on pre-programmed personalities. There are two factions. The elite commandos, who are led by Chip Hazard, are bloodthirsty soldiers with only one objective: to destroy the Gorgonites, who are odd-looking monsters led by Archer. These creatures are peaceful though, and don't even try to fight back, opting to hide to survive the commandos. The toys break out of their packaging, and the two factions' one-sided war spills into the human world, where Alan, the rebellious son of a toy shop owner, has to find a way to save his family and friends from these out-of-control toys. I love this movie, and I'm going to be talking about it more, but as a toy enthusiast, I have to ask myself, what's a toy line based on a movie about toys like? What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and in today's video we are going to answer that very question. We're going to talk about the movie itself, especially the behind the scenes aspect, because to bring these toys to life they had to build them, and we're also going to discuss the potential future of Small Soldiers. So if this sounds good to you, please consider liking and subscribing to help me with my own murderous toy come to life algorithm. Also, yes, I know Toy Story exists, and if you want me to cover the toys based on Toy Story, let me know in the comments. Small Soldiers is a movie I saw advertisements for every now and then, but to be honest, the movie never piqued my interest whatsoever. Maybe because I really like Toy Story, and I didn't want to watch a movie I felt was a ripoff, or something dumb like that. And I know Small Soldiers came out first, but tell that to 7-year-old me. I just think it's funny how as kids, we just form random opinions and hate stuff for no real reason. It's a nice feeling to grow out of that. But anyway, my whole point is that I finally watched a movie for the first time this year, and I absolutely loved it. I was actually watching the movie with my member exclusive Discord, and it was so fun because the movie gets fairly insane towards the end. Me and my Discord also freaked out because the actor Kevin Dunn appeared. You might know Kevin Dunn the same way I do, from the Michael Bay Transformers movies as Shia LaBeouf's dad, which is already fun because I'm a Transformers fan, but also in the same year as Small Soldiers, 1998, Kevin Dunn was in the American version of Godzilla, which I also watched this year with my Discord, so we're slowly building up the Kevin Dunn verse, purely by accident. As a result, I've made a playlist featuring the movies I've covered on the channel featuring Kevin Dunn, and I look forward to the next time I'm jump scared by him in a random movie. Sorry for that tangent. Let's talk about the incredible practical effects this movie employs. I absolutely love practical effects. Obviously CGI can be amazing and blow our minds, with visuals that may be straight up impossible to do by hand, but I love the humanity of practical effects. The idea that some things are really there, like the action figures from Small Soldiers. Now, about 2/3 of the movie does use CGI, as it was gaining popularity fast after Jurassic Park, and filmmakers were discovering that it looked good enough and was a cost-effective way of doing effects, especially on characters like the Small Soldiers, who are literally made of plastic, so the glossy look of the early CGI doesn't look too out of place. What I really love though are the puppets made by Stan Winston, who, if you don't know, is the unchallenged GOAT of film practical effects and puppetry. His studio designed the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, as well as the Terminator, and his studio created the gruesome effects seen in John Carpenter's The Thing. So it was definitely a smart move to get Stan Winston on the job, and seeing how they brought these characters to life is amazing. Some of the toys are remote controlled, like Archer in this scene at the computer. I love Archer's design, by the way. He's definitely my favorite character. The rest of the Gorgonites are fine, and Chip Hazard is a solid design for the villain, but I don't really like any of the soldiers. This one has a skibbity toilet face, and generally Archer is the only design that I really like. I love watching this video of the Stan Winston team testing the puppets, trying to get the movement down for the final battle between Archer and Chip.
He's got his foot in the bucket. His arm.
Oh, that's great.
Stick.
Open up a big can of whoop-ass on you.
I felt like the performances in the movie are all excellent. The main character, Alan, is the most typical 90s kid actor ever. I kinda love him for that. It feels nostalgic. Kirsten Dunst, who you may know as MJ from the Raimi Spider-Man movies, is Alan's love interest, Christy. I've already spoken about Kevin Dunn, who plays Alan's dad and rocks this sick beard. Somehow this man runs a toy store that doesn't sell conventional toys like action figures, but he was also able to afford a 2-story suburban home. My favorite character is played by David Cross, who is Tobias Funke for my millennial viewers, and Uncle Ian from Alvin and the Chipmunks for my Gen Z viewers. Cross plays the character Erwin, who is the designer of the Gorgonites and clearly loves and respects his own creations. When he learns that the Gorgonites are sentient, he is genuinely excited and just wants to talk to them, which is so sweet, especially compared to almost everyone else in the movie who seemed deeply cynical about the toys. He was easily the most relatable character to me.
These are your individual secret passwords. Please take a moment to memorize them now.
Mine's Gizmo.
I said secret.
Well,
Chip Hazard was played by Tommy Lee Jones, and his voice performance is fantastic. He feels like the perfect caricature of a gruff military general, willing to execute his mission at all costs. And the Elite Commandos do some insane stuff. The creation of the Gwyndy doll army comes to mind, and good god, some of those designs were creepy. I can definitely imagine a kid being terrified by this film. Archer is played by Frank Langella, which was super exciting to learn for me, because Frank Langella plays the live-action Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe movie. That film is not the most faithful adaptation, but I really like it. And Langella's Skeletor is my favorite part of the movie. So learning that Archer was voiced by him was awesome, and hearing him talk about the character, you can really tell he took his role seriously, even though the concept is so silly.
I like doing this because you have to put every ounce of commitment just into the sound of the voice and the words and the character's intentions. And if it's an animated character like this, a toy, it's even more interesting to try and make him come alive.
I'm really glad I watched this movie, but the whole time watching it, I was dying to know what the actual toy line was like. So let's find out. Okay, so in my mind, there's two ways you could do a small soldier's toy line. The first is to be completely faithful to the toys in the movie. Complete recreations in the same packages as if the toy line from the movie is being sold in real life. And the second option is to release a toy line that is based on the movie itself, which is ultimately what the toy company Kenner went with. Kenner is an iconic toy company, famously known for revolutionizing action figures with their Star Wars toy line. Sadly, their parent company, Hasbro, would shut Kenner down just 2 years after this toy line. Like I said, the Small Soldiers toys are explicitly based on the living toys in the movie. They even have articulation lines and hinges molded into them, which is kind of wild because they all have really limited articulation, and sometimes the molded joints look so real you'd think they are. I really don't mind that the toys are based on the ones from the movie. I think it makes sense. And the movie itself did not generate enough success to warrant the budget that would be required to properly remake the toys from the movie. The closest you could get were the giant Archer and Chip Hazard figures, which were 12 inches tall and featured sounds and arm-raising gimmicks. The sculpts are nice, and these toys would probably be what you would go for as a collector that wants small soldiers representation in their collection. While these larger action figures seem cool, my real interest lies in the basic action figures, which are around 5 inches tall. Their packaging kinda simulates the one from the movie, and I really enjoy that it looks like they're gonna break out of the packaging. Let's talk about the Gorgonites first, starting with Archer, who got a whopping 4 figures in the line. I think Kenner also realized he's the best character. Starting off with his normal look, this Archer is a great looking toy that captures his look in the movie in a small, limited package. He comes with a whole host of weapons, but the appeal to me is the incredible sculpting. There was also Battle Damaged Archer, which is Archer with exposed lime green circuitry, with a much more aggressive face sculpt. I kinda love how weird this looks, and the tech sculpting looks really cool. He has an action feature. If you press the button on his chest, his arms will pop off of his body like missiles, which is really fun, and stuff like that does happen in the movie. There were also 2 Archer figures released that had armor. Ultra Armor Archer kinda looks like a samurai with his armor, and there was also Battle Changing Archer, which is a figure that was released later in the line, and to my understanding is difficult to find. I really like the bone armor he's rocking. It's a cool vibe, even if it's a made up random vibe. We also have Insaniac, who is my second favorite Gorgonite. He's like if the mask looked like a Spawn villain. I love the texture of the toy. It looks as if his skin is stretched across his body really tight. I also love the red paint on his fingertips and toes. It's a great attention to detail, and I like the asymmetrical look. Insaniac comes with Miniac. You know, Miniac from the movie. Insaniac got a second toy called Witch Doctor Insaniac, which isn't that interesting to me. I mean, the colors are cool, but I do have to give Kenner credit. This is an entirely new mold, and they totally could have just repainted the first figure. Freakenstein is a great design, and he's an awesome looking toy. In the movie, his name at first is Troglodyte, but he's found and dismantled by the elite commandos, and so the Gorgonites reconstruct him using pieces of a radio, so he ends up with the name Freakenstein. Again, this toy is excellent. The sculpt is great and really conveys that he's a patchwork monster. Freakenstein also got a second figure, battle-changing Freakenstein, who had wheels on his feet so he could transform into a little car. I love the engine block sticking out of his head and the big exhaust pipes coming out of his back. There were also some larger figures. Slamfist comes in this square box. He was a cute character in the movie, a gentle oaf. I love the green skin with the brown spots. He's got Toad vibes, though I wish he had a bit more articulation, but I could say that for every toy in the line. The other large Gorgonite is Punch It, a stag beetle looking guy that exudes power. I love his design, and the blue shell armor looks like it has a satisfying texture. He also comes with Scratch It, a two-legged little monster that would fit right in as a Smiling Friends background character. She can also sit on Punch It's back, which is cool. On the Commando Elite side, we of course have a few Chip Hazard figures. The normal Chip Hazard is excellent. The sculpting and general look of him is amazing. Both he and Archer have normal human proportions in the movie, so these smaller toys shrink them down a bit, and it really works for Chip Hazard. He low-key looks like a rescue hero. Just like Archer, there is a battle-damaged Chip. He's very similar with the exposed technology. This time it's bright red. Also, his left eye is scarred like it is later in the movie, which is cool. He also has an action feature where his legs pop off. Finally, there is electrocharged Chip Hazard, who looks like normal Chip with electricity drawn all over his body. I think the toy is supposed to represent Chip when Alan electrocutes him. It's a pretty lame repaint, and weirdly it reminds me of Energon Tidal Wave from Transformers, who was also a repaint with lightning all over him. As for the other commandos, we had Brick Bazooka, who looks accurate to the movie, though he has a bizarre hidden feature where a giant missile launcher can come out of his body. I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda cool, and I think it makes the toy a lot more interesting. It seems like the commandos in general have more gimmicks. I think it might be because they look like generic soldiers, and maybe Kenner didn't think they stood on their own just relying on their designs. So you end up with a giant blaster chest bazooka toy. Nick Nitro is a bit more normal. He has a missile launching jetpack, and that's about it. Finally, we have battle changing Kip Killigan, another super rare figure. I like the blades on his forearms that can flip out. His whole body opens and can spin around, which is kind of fun. The final basic figure is kind of a bizarre one. This is Flatchu. He's classified as a Gorgonite despite not actually being one. He's from very early in the movie as one of the toys from a different toy line Irwin was working on. He might have been part of the cast in early versions of the movie, but he didn't make the final cut. This toy also comes with a weird purple gremlin named Nibble, because why not? Flatchu has a disgusting action feature where he can shoot his back wart like a missile. There was also a small range of vehicles for the basic toys. The vehicles are patchwork technology, much like you see in the movie, though none of them are actually in the movie. The first is the ground assault vehicle, which seems to be for the elite commandos, specifically Chip Hazard. It's a pretty small vehicle, and it's also not very interesting. The power drill cycle is a motorcycle for the Gorgonauts. It's okay, I like that it comes with Scratch It, which is a nice bonus. Finally, there was the best vehicle of the line, the Buzzsaw tank, which is another Gorgonite vehicle. The tank is simple but cool. It's meant to be a simple tank toy that has a buzzsaw attached to it via duct tape. I really like the colors. It also comes with the only Ocula toy of the line. Ocula is the one-eyed Gorgonite, and in the movie he's the biggest one. But for the toy line, all we got was his eye just sticking out of a tank hatch, which is a cool look for the tank, but he has no body, so if you pull him out, you end up with just the eye. Overall, the toy line was fun, but not exactly what I want from the movie. I really would love movie accurate versions of the toys, complete with the exact same articulation you see in the film. Sadly, there has not been any news about new merch for the movie, or even a continuation of the story. There was this YouTube video called Small Soldiers War for the Nekron, which was an animated short that featured a new generation of Small Soldiers toys, this time pitting the sci-fi space elite against the creepy Necronites. The short film is actually amazing. I love all the designs for the toys, and the animation does a great job of copying copying the robotic movement from the first film, and they also slipped in some interesting lore Easter eggs. But currently this proof of concept has led nowhere. The short came out in 2023, and there hasn't been any news or follow-ups since then, which is unfortunate because I actually love the designs and vibes of the short, and I really do think it could be expanded into a compelling movie. I especially like the new generation aspect of the two lines, not being tied to the elite commandos or Gorgonites, but the story still reflects the aggressive soldiers versus misunderstood monsters, which does feel like the core of the small soldiers dynamic. If we do get more small soldiers in the future, I hope it has as much creativity as this, and if we can't get a media follow-up, could we please get an updated toy line? It's shocking to me that Small Soldiers hasn't been picked up by now. It feels like the perfect nostalgia bait toy line, but hey. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you want to support me past that, I have YouTube memberships and Patreon. For $1 a month, both give you the same thing. Access to my super chill Discord server, where we talk about toys daily, watch Toku weekly, and movies monthly. And you also get weekly exclusive videos called Toy Dives, where I talk about a random toy line like Planet Heroes, the spiritual successor to Rescue Heroes, which I have also covered on Toy Dive. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.